Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. Tonight our question comes to us from Draconum Blade. And Draconum Blade asks whether it's alright to do ritual and spell work on the fly, or if you should have all of your words prepared in advance. And my answer to this is not only is it okay to do ritual or spell work on the fly, but I personally consider it to be desirable that whatever words that you use are the reflection of your heart and your intention in the moment. This is a much more effective way of tapping into the powers of your spirit, in my opinion, than using someone else's words. There are a few exceptions and times when traditional forms may be desirable, times when ritual scripts may be desirable if you're working with many other people who perhaps do not have a long-term relationship working with each other. Or if you're trying to do something very, very specific, there may be times when it's better to have words prepared in advance, but I think they're really few and far between. It is true, however, that sometimes there are certain forms that you may prefer to use again and again because you become comfortable and familiar with them. There's certainly nothing wrong with that, but I absolutely favor the idea of creating the words that you use in a spell or a ritual in the moment that you are using them. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't think about it beforehand, that's not to say you should not plan it out, but to write the words down before you use them generally means that you're then going to have to read them. And in reading them, people often become much more concerned with whether they're saying the exact words and with whether they're projecting the proper energy that is necessary for the spell or the ritual to be effective. That energy is much more important to what you're doing than the words are. And it's much more important, in my opinion, to be in the right mindset, to be in your magical state of mind, and to use whatever words your heart moves you to that properly express what you're trying to do. Now, if you're not used to using words, you may want to practice with this, you may want to develop it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to learn for some people, but it is highly desirable to do so. Now, the second part of Draconum Blade's question is what to do if, in enacting a ritual or spell, words come out wrong, not as intended, or if you make some other error. And my answer to this is that if you find yourself having made an error in a spell or a ritual, in general, you should simply continue and keep your focus on your intended outcome and not be caught by an unimportant detail. It is much more important to keep the energy building and to keep it focused than whether things are placed exactly correctly, or words are pronounced in a certain way, or whatever other thing might give you pause. Having said that, sometimes you will make an error that actually does need to be corrected, in which case you should do it with as little fuss as possible and simply undo what you have done in error and do it correctly. The one thing you should never do, especially if you're working with someone else, is call attention to your error. Rather, it is better to simply correct it. The other thing is that you should also ask yourself on occasion, is this actually an error, or has Spirit moved me to do something I had not intended? Because sometimes what you might perceive to be an error is actually what is truly needed. So consider, before you decide that you've made an error, the significance of what it is you have done or said in accident. Because sometimes it will actually be more appropriate and you will simply want to flow with it. And again, if you do not want to flow with it, if you feel that it is in fact an error, don't call attention to it, simply correct it. So those would be my answers to that question. I hope that you find them helpful, and until next time, may you blessed be. Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. And I hope that you enjoyed the offerings that we bring you here at MagickTV, at Witch School, at Pagans Tonight Radio, at the Daily Spell, and at all of our different online platforms. We work hard to bring you many interesting and educational things, to bring you videos, to bring you classes, to bring you information of all sorts, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I'd like to take this moment to remind you that this is primarily funded through Witch School supporting memberships. And between now and Yule, we're offering Witch School lifetime memberships at the very low price of $29.99. And I hope you'll consider buying one. Even if you already have your own lifetime membership, consider buying one for a friend or a family member. They really are an investment in the future, and every year we add more and more material so they'll always get better. So I hope that you will consider that, and until next time, may you blessed be.